Alrighty, welcome to a new video. Today's gonna be a little different one. I've just got a little 360 mount on my chest and I want to do something different. I'm in a garage where I keep my bike, and this is the R6. It's not, I can't really tell it's an R6 at the moment, but I thought I'd make a little video on cleaning the injectors. So yeah, without any further ado, let's just get into it. So to get to this point, you got to take the fuel tank off. You can remove some of the fairings to make your life easier, but then you'll be met with like an airbox on top, which I've already taken apart. Bike's been like this for ages, so I just haven't been bothered to put it back together to try to take it apart again. But I'll go over to the airbox just to show you what it looks like. This is the bottom half of the airbox. You got to disconnect some connections. You got to disconnect the fuel line to there to get this off, and to get this off of the actual bike, you've got these little bolts. I don't know if I can even show you, but they're right down in there. There's 4 of them, or I think there's 6 of them actually. You can see them on the underside, all these little studs that are sticking out. That's what you want to undo so you can lift this off. And to get the top half off, you just got all these screws you got to do off. They're just a various bunch of I think Phillips and Allen bolts. So pretty easy to get to, not that difficult. But the reason is you have to get to these injectors up here. So I'm going to move up to the camera. So R6 has got 2 sets of injectors. You've got a set of 4 up here, which you've got to take off, and you've got another set of 4 right by the throttle bodies, which are right here. These are done by just a crosshead screwdriver, Phillips. I don't know what that is. There is a difference, but just a crosshead screwdriver to get those off. Disconnect this line by pressing the tab down, and you would have to get underneath there. I don't know if I can get the camera in well enough, but there's little connections under the throttle, onto the injectors. You just press the tab down at the bottom, and then you just pull them out. So just get nice grip around them, press the end down, and then just pull the injectors out. So the way I'm cleaning it is, ideally you shouldn't use water because you can have calcium buildup. Just use distilled water just to get all the dirt and grime out. So I've got a little ultrasonic cleaner here. You can get them on the internet for like 50 quid. It's a really good thing to get because you can fill these up like, I know, any cleaning solution. If you've got nuts and bolts and anything you want that are rusted, you just chuck them in there, let it do its magic, and then you can coat it afterwards to make it whatever color you want to protect it. But it's just a great all-round cleaner. And I've got a little injector pulse kit here. You just got to hook this up to a battery with the crocodile clips, and then you plug these 2 terminals into the injector, and I'll show you how it works in a second. But combining these 2 together gets the injectors nice and clean. But yeah, so normally distilled water, but since I'm going to be cleaning them straight away and drying them off, I'm not too bothered about it. And if you want to go a step further, hook it up to like some carb cleaner, blast it in the one end of the injector as it's pulsing, just to get everything out. Yes. Perfect, class. Thank you very much. Well, that just showed me up. That was something that everyone can learn, I guess. I'm gonna do that with every single type bolt. It was just turning it and hammering it, just tapping it with the hammer as you're turning it, and it just gets it out. Damn, that is genius. There we go. They're usually held in by just a little rubber seal, so it's not that difficult to get them out. You just gotta wiggle them a little bit. Yeah, there's the rubber seal. Don't want to lose that. Usually they just sit in the injector ports there, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put it back in there and not mess with them because I don't want to lose it. And these, if you just gently wiggle the injectors, they should just come out. There you go. There you go. You got 1 injector out there, and I'm just going to go ahead and get the other ones out. Go put this down. So for these injectors, just want to get Allen keys. Normally I would have a socket set, but I just don't have it here at the moment. I'm trying to work with like the most simple amount of tools. Like most of the R6 you can take apart with just Allen keys and screwdrivers, so don't really need any specialist tools. But I just always have like some cloths handy as well, because you're working with fuel and you don't want petrol to be spraying everywhere. And then this, you should just be able to pull out. There we go. And it's only held together by this little seal here. So you just gotta push that all the way through, like that, so that can break free. And just start lifting it off from the edges. There you go, that's the other seal. I forgot about that one. And then, come on, you bastard. There you go. Oh shit, I'm bleeding. Alright, hand is prepared. As I was saying, this seal on that and that seal, you just got to push them through, and then you get exposed with this secondary set of injectors, held together with some of the, I don't know if this is a 4mm? 4mm, yeah. I think they're held together by 4mm Allen. And then just crack that off. Damn, I had to use a little bit of force, because these have probably never been taken off, ever. Jesus. That's also why there's a glorious bit of Loctite on there, which I have no idea why there's even Loctite on these, because they don't move. They just literally don't move. I don't know why there's Loctite on them, but I guess you can clean off the Loctite and then just put it back in normally. If you want to, you can put some blue Loctite on, but I wouldn't recommend putting any on, because these are literally being pressed against the bottom side of the roof of the airbox anyway. So there's no reason why you need that much Loctite. That's a better picture of what the tabs look like. They're the same on every single Yamaha bike, these injectors. And yes, the orientation does matter, so don't mix these up. Try to keep them as lined up to the best as possible. Oh, look at these short little stubby ones. Right, got everything set up, got the battery out, hooked it up, obviously red to positive, black to negative. Don't get them mixed up. Obviously have a battery that's charged, otherwise this won't work. And then you just hook this up, just slides onto that terminal, this slides onto that terminal. I haven't used this in a while, so I had to figure out which one it is. So you got, this one, you got 3 modes. You got short pulsing, medium pulsing, long pulsing, and then you've got mode 4, which is constant pulsing. And then you just set it up to pulse, and then the injector pulses. Press it again, turns it off. So yeah, black one goes, I don't think it actually matters which way it goes, but I have the black terminal on the right one, and then I have the red one on the left one. And then you just slap this in there. You want to make sure that the water level isn't high so that it will go into the terminals. But to be honest, I've cleaned my MT-07 injectors and it doesn't really matter. So just set that up. You can actually use the lid to hold the cable in place. And then I'm just going to turn my ultrasonic cleaner on, set it up to, I think this is on 9 minutes now. So I'm just going to start pulsing and then turn this on. And then do the same thing with all of them for 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how long you want to leave it in there for, and then it should be good. And just to add, I just thought I'd add another point. Once it's done cleaning, it's a good time to check if it's actually cleaned the injector nozzles properly. Just get some compressed air. I'm lucky enough to have a little proper compressed air nozzle. Keep it pulsing, and then keep an eye on the end of the nozzle as you're blasting it. This is very loud, so I'm hoping it doesn't You don't want it to be too close because you don't want to put too much pressure on the end of injectors because you can damage the mechanism there. And yeah, you don't want to create too much pressure inside. So just have it further back a bit, don't just stick it all the way in, just have it a little bit back, blast it. Obviously clean as much of the water off beforehand so it doesn't get in, but I don't know if you could see, but once you're blasting it with compressed air, you can actually see how it vaporizes out the end. So if it's really nice and misty, then you know that it's vaporizing perfectly at the tip. These are vaporizing perfectly fine. They're turning into like a big mist cloud, and you just want to keep blasting it until you can't see any more vapor out the side, so you've got a limited window to see how well you've cleaned it. If it's not vaporizing properly and it's just getting like little strands, a couple of like solid strands of water coming out, that means it's still blocked and you've got to clean it again. But it's a good thing to check injector by injector because you've got to dry them off anyway, so they don't get rusty or just get calcium build up on the inside. So if you use distilled water, it's fine because it won't build up anything. So that's why I said use distilled water, but since I'm drying it off straight away with a compressed air cleaner, it should be fine. Yeah, and these injectors are pretty nice and cleaned. So now I've got all the 4 main injectors cleaned. All I've got to do is just put it back together, fucking hell. I don't have enough time to do it all today, so the video is going to have to end short, but at least that is how you clean injectors. Ideally, like I said, afterwards you just want to blast it with some carb cleaner just to get any residue out, but hopefully your injectors aren't as bad as mine because this bike was in a bad state. But yeah, the bike is going to stay like this. I'll just give you a quick look at the bike again. The bike's going to stay like this for a while because I've still got to do a lot of stuff to it, so I'm not going to be putting it back together. I will put the injectors back together another time, or yeah, I don't know, I just don't have a lot of time to do it at the moment. But yeah, hopefully you remembered how everything goes together and taking pictures of each step so that you remember which way everything goes. But yeah, that's about it. Sorry the video's got to end short, but yeah, that's the way it's going to be. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.